Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 241 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng squeezed the grass in front him so hard that it vanished. I failed at breeding the third body. Luo Feng felt like he had been knocked senseless. He hadn't even been this upset when his original Earthling body was at an impasse. He had been improving himself ever since he stepped off Earth and entered the universe. He had made so many efforts, had climbed higher and higher on the ladder to becoming a great being. However, Luo Feng had to admit that Mosha body and Golden Horned Beast body helped him dearly in this process. Talent was just as important as a strong will and perseverance. A third body is vital to my future development and my future status in the universe. Like Immortal Knight? Even though he's only a universe knight, no universe masters look down upon him, as nobody is able to kill him so far, Luo Feng thought. If I have that World Tree body, even if my other bodies fall, the abundant amount of godly power from the World Tree can revive them in no time. By then, I'll have the same ability as an undying knight. I'll be immortal. God Country is the essence of an undying fighter. A World Tree in the God Country not only would stabilize it but also make it much stronger with its talent manipulation of space and time. Luo Feng felt wronged. This was the Sector Lord special life form he had chosen that was most suitable for him. Actually, since he had the 9-volume manual, he could have found a flesh-type special life form which could improve his godly body better than World Trees. However, Luo Feng had enough access authority to know that the universe was limited. For instance, the limit of godly body amplification and soul amplification were both 100 times. Even the unique life forms were several thousand, or even 10,000 times, stronger than the ordinary ones. I've already had a Golden Horned Beast body, and with my 9-volume manual, my Golden Horned Beast body can definitely rival those unique life forms, Luo Feng thought. Given that, I don't need a flesh-type special life form. After all, flesh-type creatures generally don't have large sizes. The size determined the amount of godly power. The larger a body, the better it was. Take the Sector Lord World Tree, for example. The explosion of that powerful flame origin crystal damaged several million miles of its body, but compared to its crown, which had a diameter of hundreds of millions of miles, and a height of 40 million miles, it was nothing but a minor injury. That most powerful World Tree. Its enormous godly body alone can leave other universe knights in despair. Even if they were to self-destruct, it would be nothing but a bee sting. It doesn't even need to care about law comprehension. With that enormous godly body, only universe masters can be a threat to it. The injustice of it all was almost too much. What should I do now? I didn't succeed at breeding my World Tree body. Apparently, my internal world is unable to withhold it. Luo Feng clenched his teeth. What should I choose for my third body? It was okay to fail once. Talent technique determined that he could have 3 bodies. Of course, he had to breed all of them before becoming undying, as if he didn't, he would lose his internal body after becoming undying and thus waste the opportunity. Failure to breed his third body was a heavy blow to Luo Feng, yet he recovered quickly. Now that World Trees couldn't be bred, what other options were there? What should I breed for my third body? One special life form after another flashed through Luo Feng's mind. Flesh-typed special life forms? Even with the 9-volume manual, it could only be as powerful as Golden Horned Beasts. It was ruled out first. Rock race? Plant race? There were several options for these 2 races. My first choice was World Tree, and my second choice is the Ancestral Star Tree. Both of them are plant-typed special life forms. Dawn Volcano is my third choice. Luo Feng shook his head. Compared to World Trees, Ancestral Star Trees were obviously inferior, while the third option, Dawn Volcano, was ranked further below. Size was of the utmost importance to Luo Feng. World Trees, Ancestral Star Trees, and Dawn Volcano were all special life forms with gigantic bodies. I need to think carefully, Luo Feng muttered. I'm now stuck in 9 remoteness world and carrying 3 true treasure. I can't lose any of them, especially Tower Pearl. I'll ask my Mosha body to get me out of here first. Inside a palace surrounded by Thousand Treasure River in the primal secret region. Mosha body showed up in the palace. Master, Tien Chen Emperor said, saluting him. Tien Chen Emperor was confused. He thought his master would be in seclusion for a long time, which was why he had asked him to stop others from interrupting him. However, he had already come out. Humph. Mosha body was still upset. Send me to Rock Island. Mosha body quickly summoned a slave. There was one keepsake ring disguised as a rock in 2 caves on Rock Island each. Each keepsake ring held several keepsakes belonging to different slaves. Yes, the slave of other races said. Golden light flashed. Mosha body could see the boundless ocean on the other side of the portal. Transportation was completed. On Rock Island in 9 remoteness space. Mosha teleported toward the 9 remoteness ocean once he arrived at Rock Island. He could distinctly sense the original body's location. Mosha body showed up in the ocean. These depths were tempestuous. Each drop of water was as heavy as a mountain. The original body is right down there. Mosha body looked down. I can sense the exact location. Mosha body kept teleporting himself, moving farther and farther below the ocean. After only 3 teleportations, he arrived at the bottom of 9 remoteness ocean, where bloody steam vented from the ocean floor. The force emanating from it could rival that of universe nights, which intimidated Mosha body. I can't teleport myself down there anymore. Mosha body frowned. The bloody steam suppresses the space ripple completely. According to the universe coordinates, I'm 6 light days away from the original body. Mosha body felt anxious. 6 light days meant even light would take 6 days to travel that distance. With his talent technique, domain, he could travel a maximum of 6,000 miles each time. Even moving forward 100 times per second would take him 2 to 3 days to arrive. Assuming, of course, that there was no danger awaiting him in the bloody steam. But it doesn't look safe. Mosha body looked down at the raging, bloody steam. Although the water in 9 remoteness ocean was heavy, it couldn't penetrate the bloody steam. I must at least try. I'll only lose some energies even if I fail. Mosha body stopped hesitating and dove into the bloody steam. He didn't use his talent technique domain at the beginning. Instead, he flew normally. Mosha body felt overwhelming resistance. Mosha body tried to fly inside, but the resistance was unbelievably strong. The deeper he went, the stronger the resistance became. After moving just 6 feet inside the bloody steam, Mosha body was completely stuck. He couldn't even turn back. Terrifying resistance. Mosha body was in a panic. I can get out with domain, but great beings without my talent technique wouldn't be able to move a muscle if they got stuck in this bloody steam. Little wonder that there's such danger in the 9 remoteness master's territory. He's invincible here. Mosha body performed domain. The universe was composed of the elements of time and space, and every inch of the universe contained space. Mosha body turned into space instantly and turned back to the original body, moving forward 6,000 miles. Mosha body kept performing his talent technique, moving forward 100 times per second. Everywhere he passed was filled with endless bloody steam, and the resistance was incredibly strong. Even Mosha body couldn't shake it. The original body is right under me. Mosha body could sense it clearly. Quick, quick, quick! Mosha body continuously cast his talent technique, and even though he was tired, he only rested for 20 minutes after 6 hours of performing domain, after which he continued diving down. Just when Mosha body tried to dive into 9 remoteness world, 3 shadows with great force flew to the circular dragnet formed by countless indigenous warriors. The shadows were the prince and his 2 universe knights. The universe knight general standing in the sky gave a salutation. Your Highness. Your Highness. Over 1,000 warriors echoed the salutation and knelt down with great veneration. Ha ha ha, the prince laughed out loud. An undying fighter from another race can bring such hustle and bustle to my territory. If any universe knight meets him, remember, don't kill him. I'll do it myself. As for other warriors, leave no stone unturned. Follow my orders. Catch him. Yes, the bloody-horned general answered respectfully. Meanwhile, the prince gave the order to the other 8 generals through the virtual world. With the orders from 9 generals, the warriors in the encirclement initiated the plan of capture. After the prince gave his order, the circular dragnet began to narrow. The circle had a diameter of only 200 million miles, and over 100 million indigenous warriors were involved. For every undying warrior, there were 1,000 Sector Lord warriors. Although it might be unlikely that the Sector Lord warriors could stop Luo Feng, they could serve as informants. It would take Luo Feng 2 to 3 days to break through the circle, even if he traveled in sublight speed. There were 9 layers of the circle. The inner 8 layers were all Sector Lord warriors. Undying warriors and Universe Knight generals were in the outermost layer. He won't be able to make it, said one of the generals. He's already trapped, said the prince. Being caught will be his only destiny. The Sector Lord warriors were tens of thousands of miles away from each other as they started to advance toward Luo Feng. Their world energies were released and connected to 9 remoteness world energies, sweeping across the entire area. No other races could hide themselves. The circle narrowed, and the warriors advanced. After around 3 hours, a Sector Lord warrior flying at high speed suddenly stopped, looked down at the ground, and cried out, "Another race! It's the intruder of another race!" Bang! The dry land was torn apart, and a shadow in silver armor shot up swiftly, emanating a powerful force. Go! The Sector Lord warrior rushed to catch up with him, but he was too slow in comparison. Dozens of Sector Lord warriors started chasing Luo Feng from all directions, yet they could only watch that silver-armored and silver-winged shadow rush toward the outside of the circle. He won't be able to make it. We only make up the innermost layer of the circle. There are 9 layers of us. The Sector Lord warriors started to retreat back to their positions. Meanwhile, the warriors in the northern part of the circle had stopped advancing. The 2nd to 8th layers of Sector Lord warriors started to go after him. Zoom! A silver-armored, silver-winged shadow was absconding straight through the Sector Lord warriors. He is fast, commented one warrior. So fast, agreed another. Undying fighters had already gathered in the outermost layer. The Sector Lord warriors in the inner 8 layers were trying to locate the intruder, which could help the great beings in the outermost layer congregate beforehand at the crucial position. From the 1st layer to the 9th layer, the silver-armored and silver-winged shadow flew for almost 30 minutes. Almost 800 undying warriors were split into 3 teams and were ready to fight. He's flown through the 8th layer, one reported. He'll arrive soon. Everyone needs to be extra careful, said a general. This one is extraordinarily fast, and based on previous intelligence, even the head of our race can't catch up with him. One-on-one combat is out of the question. Each sub-team is going to besiege him. 30 minutes was enough for the undying warriors to fly hundreds of millions of miles away. All the undying warriors, scattered across hundreds of millions of square feet, had gathered, almost 800 undying warriors. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The prince stood at the side of the circle. He flew in that direction. The prince shook his head. It's a pity I can't fight him. I hope he's strong enough to preserve 20 or 30% of his godly body under the attack of 800 undying warriors of my race. Then I can finally glimpse him. Your Highness, this intruder is extraordinary, the lanky Universe Knight General said respectfully. He won't escape being beleaguered by 800 of warriors of our race, but he can certainly survive. Light flashed through the prince's eyes. He could see everything through synchronous transfer of the virtual universe. Begin, he commanded. 3 armies. Almost 800 undying warriors. The intruder has arrived, the most senior warrior of the 800 undying warriors announced. Then it gave the order. 9 remoteness joint attack. All the undying warriors raised their sturdy right arms and howled. Their arms started to burn, and undying power flashed in the form of bloody, red light. The visible red flow of air was primed, swirling above each of the undying fighters. The airflow formed blurry figures of blades above every Undying Warrior's right arm. Over top of the 200 Undying Warriors, 200 blurry red blade figures formed a single, giant bloody blade. A giant, bloody blade was concentrated above each of the 3 armies of Undying Warriors, attracting blood-red energy from throughout the world, thus empowering them to reach the power limit of Undying Warriors. Zoom! The silver-armored and silver-winged figure showed up, saw the Undying Warrior team afar, and began fleeing in the exact opposite direction in a state of panic. Unfortunately, there were now teams of Undying Warriors in every direction. He could only retreat. The order was given. Attack! 800 Undying Warriors waved their right arms at the same time. The giant, bloody blades shot out. Nothing could stop them. The 3 enormous, bloody blades pursued the silver-armored and silver-winged figure. The figure emanated incredible force in its attempt to flee, but even his speed couldn't compare to the bloody blades. The bloody blades flew hundreds of thousands of miles, and when they touched each other, they exploded simultaneously. Boom! The power was so vigorous it was as if it had come from the self-destruction of a super-great being. The force swept into the silver-armored, silver-winged shadow. Ah! A shrill, painful scream was heard as the figure was annihilated beneath the great power of the bloody blades. In the aftermath, the 800 warriors gathered and inspected the area with their undying power. The intruder died, they realized, leaving behind only an ordinary undying weapon and a world ring. The prince received the news instantly. Dead, said the prince, surprised to hear that the undying fighter from another race, who was faster than his captain-level Undying Warriors, even in a world where their race was empowered while other races were suppressed, had been killed so quickly. He had expected him to be a force to be reckoned with. Your Highness, our Undying Warriors were only the catalyst of the 9 remoteness joint attack, the bulky Universe Knight explained respectfully. The world energies on our side played a major part. It's not surprising that the intruder was killed. If there are enough Undying Warriors to stimulate adequate world energies, even Universe Knights can be killed. Check that world ring, the prince commanded through the virtual world. After a short while, he got the report. There were no valuables in the world ring. Those ordinary objects inside were just trash to the prince. The prince shook his head. It's a fake. The dead intruder must have been an imposter. If he can move faster than a captain-level Undying Warrior of my race, he must be exceptional outside of this world. How could someone of such stature have so few possessions? Perhaps running is his only skill, the lanky Universe Knight answered. Inspect it again, ordered the prince. All Undying Warriors, back to your position. Keep narrowing the dragnet. 800 Undying Warriors began to retreat. It took them 30 minutes to gather just now, and it would take them nearly 30 minutes longer to return to their positions. A full hour had been wasted because of that silver-armored, silver-winged shadow. 2 hours later. The intruder is found. The intruder is found. What? Again? Isn't he dead? The prince in charge of the circle laughed. I knew it. We can't underestimate that intruder from another race. He must have been using his undying slaves, who took on his appearance to lure us into his trap. Your Highness, what should we do now? This one might not be the real intruder, either. Both of the Universe Knights looked at the prince. They had some ideas, but the prince was aristocratic, they generally deferred to his judgment. Follow the original plan, said the prince. We need to be careful with every other intruder that appears, the prince said confidently. We could inadvertently let him get away if we don't. But it's going to slow down the entire process, spoke up one of the Universe Knights. I'd rather go slowly than miss one, said the prince with a cruel scowl. Kill every intruder you find. Don't let any of them get away. The real one will not escape. In the wilderness. As Luo Feng hid, he thought about his plan. He frowned. As the prince had presumed, both of the intruders were imposters, undying slaves sent by Luo Feng. Now, all of his undying slaves were traveling throughout the circle, attracting a good number of undying warriors to gather so he could kill them in the end. It would take the undying warriors 1 to 2 hours to gather each every time. Fortunately, several of my slaves are soul masters who have dozens or even over 100 slaves of their own, who also have slaves. Luo Feng wasn't concerned with those slaves. They were not necessarily faster than the indigenous sector lords, yet if they burned their undying power, they would be more than 1,000 times stronger, making them far stronger than sector lord warriors. One undying slave after another walked to his death. And they kept stalling time. Quick, 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 Luo Feng said, still anxious. The slaves I send out only slowed down one side of the circle while the other 3 armies are still advancing fast. I need to slow down all 4 sides. Almost 100 slaves will be needed to stall them one more day, Luo Feng thought. Undying slaves are useful for God country transportation as bait. I can't waste them recklessly like this. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. Moshe Body was using his talent technique, domain, deep in the bloody airflow over his head, drawing closer and closer. Come on, Luo Feng muttered, his stomach in knots. Hurry. My escape depends on whether Moshe Body can get here before they finish narrowing the circle. His original plan had been to ask the slaves to escape so that the undying warriors in the outermost layer of the circle could gather together, after which he could break free. After giving the plan a second thought, he decided it was unlikely to succeed. The circular dragnet was delicately formed. There were 9 layers, and the last layer served almost like the teeth of a massive gear, with some of the undying warriors distributed in faraway areas as sentries. Even if most of the warriors were attracted by his ruse, a few would still remain behind as sentries, tracking in turns. This made it easy for them to block Luo Feng from escaping for 1 or even 2 hours. If my luck runs out, I'll run into a universe knight, thought Luo Feng. Then I'll be doomed. The safest way is to ask Moshe Body to do the job, he muttered under his breath. He's the best at disguising and breaking free. Luo Feng gazed nervously at the sky. A massive quantity of bloody air had gathered in the sky above 9 Remoteness World. Even universe knights couldn't venture in this place, the forbidden area of 9 Remoteness World. However, Moshe Body teleported through it, his body flashing in the bloody air time and time again as he advanced toward the world below. I have to make it. As Moshe Body rocketed through the layer of air, the giant circular dragnet searching for Luo Feng was steadily narrowing. A 39th one. Ha ha, the prince said, grinning. I told you that foreign invader is exceptional. How can an ordinary great being summon so many undying slaves? Your Highness, your intelligence is unquestioned, complimented one of his generals. It has almost been entertaining watching these undying slaves disguising themselves to try to get away, said the prince. I especially enjoyed the undying slave who hid another slave inside his world ring, and the one in the world ring started to flee when the undying slave carrying it was killed. Or the 3 slaves trying to strike different areas of the same defensive line all at once. Unfortunately for him, the prince added confidently, my 100 million warriors won't let him run off. That was surely his final gambit, the lanky universe knight said. Soon, he will be in an impasse, the other universe knight added. The prince nodded. The circle has narrowed to half its original size, and we have adequate warriors now. Half of the warriors shall follow the original plan while the other half start to advance regardless of whether meeting any intruders or not. I need them to scan the whole place as fast as possible. Fierceness flashed across the prince's eyes. Then even if the intruder sends his slaves, he can't slow my warriors from advancing. Both of the universe knights nodded. Indeed, as the circle being narrowed, the number of indigenous warriors soon appeared intimidating. With an order, half of the sector lord warriors and undying warriors started to dash inward. No. Luo Feng, hiding in the wilderness, was stunned. He knew what was happening, thanks to the slaves he'd sent. They disregard my slaves and start to charge in, he said. What should I do? What should I do now? For the first time, Luo Feng grew fearful. Based on his previous calculations, he had abundant time. The only problem was how many undying slaves he would waste. But now, the undying slaves weren't able to slow down their advance, which meant big trouble. Come on. Luo Feng looked up at the bloody air in the sky. Hurry up. The dragnet was divided into an outer circle and an inner circle. Warriors in the outer circle were still following the original plan. Those in the inner circle, however, raced in, heedless of the intruders' slaves. Onward! Onward! Charge! Cried the army. One undying slave after another rushed out and broke from the circle easily. Barely any warriors even tried to stop them. After a day, tens of millions of warriors in the inner circle finished gathering. Your Highness, we've inspected every inch of the circle, said the lanky general. Follow my orders, said the prince. The inner circle will start to expand and get close to the outer one. At the same time, if anyone runs into any other race, kill it. No exceptions. The prince gave the order, and the circle shrank even smaller. The warriors were more concentrated than ever. Luo Feng was stuck in a trap. A pincer maneuver? Luo Feng clenched his teeth. I'll fight to the very end and squeeze the last bit of time for my Mosha body. It'll take him around 3 hours and 17 minutes to arrive, and I must make use of the time. Although that almighty Nine Remoteness Master owed Primal Chaos City Leader a favor from Nine Remoteness Master was not to be spent frivolously. Luo Feng wouldn't use it unless he absolutely had to. As long as I can escape from the junior ones, Nine Remoteness Master will be too proud to attack me, Luo Feng thought. I've never heard of Nine Remoteness Master attacking an heir. He waved his hands, and 6 undying slaves appeared. They saluted Luo Feng and said, Master of my master. Follow my orders, Luo Feng said. Yes. All of the slaves took on the shape of Luo Feng and departed, following Luo Feng's command. Luo Feng sighed. He felt like he was going crazy. Pincer maneuvers and killing all the enemies at the same time was a good idea, but the time that elapsed was now insignificant compared to their steady advance toward Luo Feng. It wouldn't be long now. Your Highness, 2 circles will meet soon, and the other race won't be able to make it after that. The 2 Universe Knights were both looking forward to the result. The prince nodded mildly with a smile on his face. Like a rat in the trap. This was the final struggle. The undying invaders' struggle pleased the prince. You really don't want to die, do you? The prince thought. Otherwise, you won't be putting up such a fight, knowing you're in a dead end. Alas, you'll be in my hands in the end, he muttered, and I'll see what skills you've got. The prince was eager for this moment. He hadn't had this much fun in his long life. Luo Feng looked up at the sky, and his fear turned to joy. A figure in the sky teleported and kept blinking. He dove down immediately and stopped. It was Mosha Body. It finally arrived. Luo Feng felt relieved and went into Mosha Body's world ring. Mosha Body shook, and black air surged. It transformed into an indigenous undying warrior with a red body and bloody horns. Even its aura was copied from one of the undying warriors that had chased Luo Feng when he first stepped into Nine Remoteness World. For more than a day, I performed that talent technique more than 100 times, said Mosha Body. I'm so exhausted. Mosha indigenous warrior's pressure was finally mitigated. He was too tired from the past day, as he hadn't been able to rest in the slightest. Even a Universe Knight couldn't stand such weariness. Luo Feng had an unbending will, and together with his desire for survival, he was able to make it. It'll take me around 11 minutes, and the inner encirclement will arrive sooner. Mosha indigenous warrior smiled. Unfortunately, you're late. Warriors in the inner circle and outer circle were pretty close, and they squeezed in to complete the final stage of the chokehold. Up in the sky, the prince floated, overlooking the boundless land. All the warriors bowed to the prince to show respect when they saw him. Ha ha! The final strangle. Each inch of this space will be occupied by my warriors soon. Let's see where he runs. The prince was overjoyed. Yet after only 20 minutes. Your Highness, my team has already searched everywhere, one of his generals reported. We didn't find that powerful other race. My team didn't find the other race either, reported another. We didn't find him, said the third. The generals reported to the prince immediately. What? How? The prince shouted at the generals in the virtual world. Your Highness, we found 83 suspects while searching, and our undying warriors jointly stimulated 9 remoteness world energies which can kill even a pinnacle emperor. Perhaps the undying other race is already dead. Yes, Your Highness. We've found a suspect, too. He's powerful and left lots of valuables after falling. He might be the one we're looking for. He must be that one, then, agreed another general. Reports from the 9 generals further infuriated the prince. No, that can't be him, the prince roared. The earliest report says this guy is even faster than a captain-level undying warrior. He's no ordinary great being. But we didn't find any other races. Go search. Find him at all costs. Yes. Yes, sir. The 9 Universe Knight generals could only comply with the furious prince's order. However, no matter how carefully they inspected the circle made by their armies, they couldn't find Luo Feng. Of course you can't find me, thought Moshe Body, disguised as an indigenous undying warrior. I'm one of you now. As the 100 million warriors continued searching under the order of the infuriated prince, Moshe Body flew far away. Each warrior was responsible for one area. The same rule applied to Moshe Body's indigenous warrior form. But instead of searching, he simply flew farther and farther away without turning back. No matter how fiercely the prince roared, none of the warriors could find Luo Feng. In the end, the prince reluctantly ordered the warriors to go back to their original positions. Moshe indigenous warrior was in no rush. With Moshe Body, I can conceal my aura and change my identity, he thought. They won't be able to find me. Besides, even if they find me, my talent technique domain can escape from even Universe Knights. Moshe Body was confident for a reason, as Universe Knights couldn't teleport themselves in 9 remoteness world. The great beings couldn't teleport themselves, but Moshe Body could perform his talent technique domain. Who could possibly catch up with Moshe Body? Moshe Body flew in the sky for a long time, eventually coming across some indigenous warriors on his way, but none of them suspected him. They had no reason to suspect anything out of the ordinary. He looked away. A quiet indigenous city, he said. There isn't even a wall around it. There were plenty of buildings outside the city where lived lots of indigenous creatures with red bodies and bloody horns. The only wall was one towering one separating an inner portion of the city from the rest of it. Luo Feng presumed that some seniors and great beings lived in the inner city. This video will end here.